Your Google Calendar has a number of different view options for how you're going to look at the dates and times and events and things that you have on there. But you also have access to multiple different calendars all at once and ways that you can turn those on and off as well. So let's just take a look at some of the different options that you've got in terms of how you're going to look and view your different calendars. So here in my calendar, I've got it right now on the month view. So I'll start up here talking about this little drop-down list. You can click that at any time, and you've got day, week, month, year, and you're actually seeing the little shortcut characters right next to it here. So I can hit D or W or M to switch between those different options. And then down at the bottom here, we also have this one here, the X. Now the X doesn't stand for 2 weeks. The X is a custom option. You can actually set that custom option in a minute here when we dig into the actual settings. But right now mine is set up for 2 weeks. And I also have the option here to show or not show any of my weekends. So for my work calendar, I tend to not check that because I'm not booking training and things on the weekends. But if I were to switch to this 2 week option, it actually overrides that and I do see the weekend showing up here. I'll go back to my month view. There we go. And typically, actually, I'm on the week view. So I'll just hit W on my keyboard. And that's going to get me back to the week option here. So in that case, if I go to the Today button, is always handy, gets you right back to right now, and it highlights that with the blue circle. And what I'm seeing here, some sort of deep green color here, and then the more faded green color. That's another option you're going to see in settings that will sort of fade any of the items that have happened in the past. So you saw the same option over on the month view here. These have that sort of richer, darker color, and then all of these ones have a much more faded text and color option to them. But that's just some of the quick sort of visuals right away when you're looking at it. Certainly it does highlight the day, the current day all the time is right there. And then the different colors I'm seeing are actually because I've got a few different calendars here turned on. So calendars I can actually see down here in the lower corner. If I get out of the way, I can scroll down here with the roller on my mouse or by grabbing that little scroll bar here. And now I've got the option to turn on or off any of these different calendars. And I do have a bunch of others that here that I could turn on. That's days of significance or the system calendar or a number of other individual calendars here. But if things get too messy, like if I look at today, it's already got 8 items on it total. I can instead decide, you know what, I only want to see, say, the system calendar for right now as an option. I can click the 3 dots that appear here next to the system calendar, and when I do, oh, I clicked too many times. Oh, I even deleted it for myself. Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. I'm going to come around to that in a moment. Instead, I'll grab my own, hit the 3 dots, and wait for the menu this time. There we go. And display this only. You always have the option to just display that one calendar only. And that's going to get you down to just the others. It unchecks all the other calendars that you might have visible there currently in your list. Now, even before I leave this screen here, the other option that I have is this menu button in the corner. I can click on that guy to collapse this entire left sidebar. And this way, with that clicked, there we go, I get my whole month view taking up the full width of my screen. So I'm not giving up any kind of screen real estate for this other information. But I just mentioned the system calendar and then X'd it by accident. What I hit there when I wasn't being patient is this X that appears next to some of these calendars. It'll unsubscribe you from those calendars or hide them. So when I want to get into some of that kind of stuff, I come up to my settings menu here under that little gear and go to settings. There we go. And this time I start first with the general settings. So I've got a bunch of options here for my just calendars in general. And I can click on this view options choice here. And this is where I see some of those same choices again about showing weekends, showing events that I've declined, which I do keep up just so I know what things and where they are and what it was that I declined. Um, I can have it reduce the brightness of the past events. So if that faded feature is not something you're liking, you can always uncheck that box. And the view calendars side by side in the day view. I didn't switch to the day view yet, but it actually will take the separate calendars that you've got and stack them kind of in columns across the screen basically, rather than trying to put them all in the exact same day. But I have the option here of changing what day this begins on, how many weeks are in my custom week. That was that X option. I can decide that I want maybe 3 weeks in that custom option instead, if I like that. And then as I come down the left-hand side here, ignoring my general settings, I've got all these specific calendars. So I've turned off the birthday calendar. That's why there's a little slash to that eyeball. And if I decided that, you know what, I want this calendar back. This is my Google Classroom calendar. I've hidden that in the past. I can just click that one more time and it pops right back up. No more eyeball with the slash, which means I'm going to be able to see it when I go back to the beginning again. Now if I scroll down a little further, let's see, there's that system calendar that I accidentally clicked on. So that eyeball is now slashed out as well. Now if I click here, I do have a couple options. I can certainly click the eyeball and get it back, but if I truly did want to get rid of that, if I didn't care about it at all anymore, I could come to the very bottom. Once I've clicked on that calendar, come to the very bottom and I can unsubscribe from that calendar. So I won't see it among my Google calendars anymore at all. Whereas it's different when I go up here to calendars that I either own or have at least full editing control over. For these kinds of guys, if I went to, say, that calendar one again, the classroom one, I can come to the very bottom of that screen and I get unsubscribe, but I also get delete. So that's truly deleting that calendar for everybody. If I was, say, in this case, a classroom teacher, and I deleted that, it's going to delete that for all the students that are also accessing that calendar in my Google Classroom. Or if I'm a principal with full, access here to the staff calendar, and I go ahead and hit delete because I've moved schools, then I will have, in fact, deleted that calendar for everybody else as well. So you can't do that with every calendar, but ones that you own and have full management rights to, you can delete them completely. So I turned a couple of those back on. If I go back now to my actual calendar, I should again see my Tyndale, 2021. And if I keep coming down here, where'd it go? Do I have the system calendar back yet? Or did I unsubscribe from him? Oh, I think I did. Okay, so perfect. That lets me show you exactly where it is. That, just like all the school calendars, is right on the main page of our doc, and the schools also have public calendars on the main page of their websites. I can come down here and I can see there's that system calendar that I like so much. I can click the plus Google Calendar in the bottom corner, and that will ask me if I want to add it to my calendars. So that's going to pop up here. Yep, calendar already exists in your list. There it was, I just didn't see it. And so it's turned it back on there for me. There it is, system calendar. So those events, if I see anything in the system calendar that's of particular interest to me, like say this PA day down here, I can click on that. I can hit the three little dots that appear and I can choose to copy this to my own calendar. That way I have that there available on my calendar to see all the time, and I'm not having to, let's hit save, not having to go back and turn that system calendar on and off all the time just to remember what's going on there. Now in my case it's getting that dual colored sort of candy striping effect. That is not a built-in feature of Google Calendar. That's actually an add-on I have running here. If I come up to the top and click my little puzzle piece, I have one called Event Merge for Google Calendar. So that's actually available in the web store if you want to go in there and poke around. There are a few different little add-ons that are handy with calendars, and I always found that one useful for that exact reason. Now when I turn off the system calendar, I just get the nice solid green because it's not trying to display two calendars at once there. So lots of different options for how you might choose to view your Google Calendars, and they're all useful for lots of different reasons, and the best part of it is that you're able to switch back and forth whenever you want.